Hi, my name is Maddie Carnahan, and today I will be discussing Leadership and Power, which is chapter 5 of the Leadership book. So, this chapter starts off about talking about mixed emotions that people have with power, how power makes us feel certain ways. People think of power as something that people can abuse, take advantage of, but power also can be a very good thing. We talk about power and leadership, about how they're interdependent but not interchangeable. So the words are not the same, but they work together. So the book defines power as the ability to influence others. Leadership is impossible without power, since a leader must modify attitudes and behaviors. Yet influencing others does not automatically qualify as leadership. Power must be used in pursuit of group goals to merit leadership classification. In the book, they use an example of a robber. If a robber goes into a bank and orders everyone to lay down, has a gun to their head, obviously everyone's going to do that. He's exerting his power over those people by intimidating them with the gun. That is not a form of leadership. He's obviously not leading the people into scaring them and terrorizing them while he's trying to rob the bank. So then we were saying, like, they are not the same thing. They are two different things, but they work together. And if they work properly together, they will be very successful. So then we go into the section of sources of power. One is called coercive power, which is based on the ability to administer punishment or to give negative reinforcements. So the examples of this is reducing status, salary, and benefits to requiring others to do something they don't like. In the most extreme form, coercive power translates into brute physical force. So this is power that is not something that people want to use frequently if they want to be a good leader. This is power by force, power by intimidation. That says that it is most effective when those subject to this form of power are aware of expectations, are warned in advance about the penalties for failure to comply. So this is used properly when people are warned that if they don't do something right, then the consequences are so if they don't do something right. So that's only used when that's the only way when it is most effective. The next is reward power. This rests on the ability to deliver something of value to others. So the reward can be tangible, money, health, benefits, or grades, for example, or something intangible like warmth and supportiveness. So many organizations use both tangible and intangible rewards to recognize superior performance. So when you're doing well on a job, obviously you're going to get some recognition. You're going to maybe get some like employee of the week, employee of the month. That's the reward power, and that kind of empowers people that they feel good about their job, that they're performing really well. This as a leader shows that you're supporting your employees. Employees want to feel supported, and they want to feel they want to be rewarded for all the hard work that they're doing. And if a leader recognizes that, then that's the type of power that they're engaging in. Next is legitimate power. This resides in the position rather than in the person. Persons with legitimate power have the right to prescribe our behavior within specified parameters. Although we may disagree with our supervisor at work, we go along with the decision because that person is the boss. So this kind of power is the power because the person is above you. So obviously you might not believe in something, but you are forced to believe it because that is what your boss believes. So that might go against your values. That goes against the values of being a true leader, of being a good follower. But that is the definition of legitimate power. Expert power is based on the person, not the position, in contrast to legitimate power. Experts are influential because they supply needed information and skills. In our culture, it is particularly important to be perceived as an expert. So people want to be perceived as an expert. People want to be perceived as good at something. That is more based on the person because people are experts at something that other people are not. So that is really important aspect of expert power. And then there's referent power, which is the role model power. So when people admire someone, they confer on their admired person the ability to influence their behavior. So when someone's a role model, obviously you're going to follow them because you trust them, you admire the work that they've been doing and the leadership that they show you. And then information power is based on access to and distribution of data. So obviously, if you have all this access to data and you have all these answers, people are going to want to respond to that because you might have the answers that they're looking for. And lastly is ecological power, and this arises out of control over the physical environment, technology, and how work is organized. Examples of this is exerting ecological power include designing and layout of a manufacturing assembly line. So this just shows that you have the skill to administer those qualities over other people. And then the rest of the chapter, we talk about deciding which types of power to use, the benefits of each of those powers, the costs of them, how they might not be as successful as you think they are, how engaging in constructive organizational politics, how leaders accumulate and use informal power to achieve their own objectives, playing politics, how that's generally associated with backstabbing, hidden agendas, secret deals, kind of like our president right now, and how politics can kind of be kind of dirty use of power, powerful and powerless talk, how sociolinguists, anthropologists, communication specialists, and others have long been fascinated with the two-way relationship between language and power and how they really focus on that, how there's there's 6 forms of powerless talk, which is hesitation, hedges, tag questions, disclaimers, accounts, and side particles. Empowerment and how this increases the job satisfaction and performance of employees, how it facilitates personal growth and learning, how sharing power prevents power abuses. We talk about the components of the empowerment process, modifying the environment, building intrinsic motivation, supplying resources, super leadership and self-leadership, and how super leaders change organizational structures, change organizational processes, and change interpersonal communication patterns. And then how they lead the journey, lead the way for how leaders are supposed to. And that's my summary of Chapter 5 of Leadership and Power. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.